In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a new rainbow loom Christmas reindeer or Rudolph charm. So what you'll need is one loom, and you want to have it set up in a rectangular shape so that all the pins are in line with one another. And you want to move your blue connector pieces to the ends of your loom. We're going to be working with a length of 5 pins at the widest point, so you want to make sure that your connector pieces are away from the length of 5 pins. And for your colors, there is brown for the reindeer itself, and then I have tan for the antlers, and I have 2 black beads for the eyes that I've already strung on the brown bands. I did that by using just a needle threader, or if you don't have that, you could use a twisty tie, just the metal part of the twisty tie, make a loop and pull it through. Or if you don't have black beads and you want to use just 2 black bands, you could do that. And then you'll also need another black band or a red band if you want to make a Rudolph for the nose. So we're going to put the first band on the 5th pin in from the left of the loom. So if you count over to the 5th pin, that's where we're going to begin. And you're going to take your first band, which is either going to be black if you want a black nose or red if you want a red nose. Put it on your hook and then loop it over a second time. We're going to double this band, and then we're going to find that 5th pin over from the left, and we're going to be placing it on the one above that 5th pin. You put one end on and then pull it down and twist. Make a figure 8. So that's where the first band will go, and that's going to be for the nose. And then I'm going to take a brown band, and again I'm going to place it on these same 2 pins, but I'm not doubling it or twisting it. And then I want to remove the bottom layer, so I'm going to take off 2 bands at once since this was doubled. I'm going to pull it out and over the top. It's either going to be red or black depending on what you chose. Again, grab the 2 bands and pull it over the top from the other side, and then push this down. And now we're going to be expanding out to 3 pins, the length of 3 pins. So where we had started, I'm going to move 1 to the left, and this band is going to go up and diagonally to the right and twist. And then from here, I'm going to come back down diagonally to the right and twist. And now I want to work my way back. So I'm going to go to the pin above where I just ended, and I'm going to come down and diagonally to the left and twist. And then I'm going to come back up diagonally to the left and again twist. You always have to twist the bottom layer. And now again I want to remove the bottom bands. So there's nothing to do on the end pins because there's only 1 band. But on this center pin, we're going to remove just the bottom 1 band, and then flip to the other side and just remove the bottom 1 band again and push this down. And now we're going to add another layer of brown using the length of 3 pins. So start on the left hand side, and we're going to do the same zigzag pattern, diagonally up to the right and then back down, and then go to the one above, and we're going to come back down, crossing over what we just put on. You want to make sure that the bands don't cross each other on the pins. They need to stay in the same order as what you put them on. And then from here we're going to come back up and diagonally to the left. And now we want to remove the bottom layer once again. So now on the end pins there are 2 bands and 4 in the center. So we're going to just remove the bottom 1 band from the end, go up to the next pin, and we're going to remove the bottom 2 bands, and then up to the top, the bottom 1. flip to the other side, and we're going to remove one from the end, and then two from the center, and then again one from the end. And we're going to push this down. You always want to keep pushing every layer down so you can have room to add your next layer. And now that was our second layer using the length of 3 pins, and we want to expand out to the length of 5 pins. So instead of starting here, I'm going to move one over to the left, and I'm going to again do the same zigzag pattern. Now for these end bands, we're going to have to twist since there's nothing underneath, and then we're going to work our way down and diagonally to the right, and then back up again. And then again we're going to extend one more out because we want to go the length of 5 pins, and we're going to again have to twist this end, and then go to the one above and work our way back, twist just the end, and then just come back down. And then again for this last one we're going to need to twist. And now we want to again remove the bottom bands. Now on the end there's only one, so we're not going to do anything. On the next one there's 3 bands, so we're going to remove just the bottom one. And then on to the next, we're going to be removing the bottom 2 bands. And then up to the next one, just 1 band. And then nothing on the end. Flip to the other side. Again, we're not doing anything to the end. The next one, we're going to be removing 1 band from the bottom, and then 2 bands from the next, and then again 1 band from the next, and nothing at the end. So we're going to push that down again. And now we're going to add another layer using the length of 5 pins. So I'm just going to string that. And then we're going to work our way back. And then once again we're going to remove the bottom layer. This time I have 2 bands on the end pins and 4 on the centers. So I'm going to be removing 1 band from the end and 2 from all of the center pins. Now this is the widest that our reindeer is going to be, and this is our second layer of the length of 5 pins. So after this we're going to narrow it down again. So again we're just removing 1 from the end pins and 2 from all of the center. And again we're going to push all of this down. So as I've said, now we want to narrow our reindeer back down to 3 pins. So instead of starting this next layer on the far left pin where the last band is, we're going to move into the right one. So I'm going to put that layer on first. Again, we're just going to zigzag up and down. And now I'm going to stop here, 1 short of the end, and work my way back. And then once I've done that, I want to take the bands on the end pins and move them in. So I'm going to start at the bottom left. I'm going to take the band on my hook and move it up and diagonally to the right. Place it right on the top. I'm going to go to the band above and move that one down and diagonally to the right. Again, just place it right on the top. Then I'm going to go to the other side, and with the top band we're going to bring that down and diagonally to the left, and with the bottom band that's going to come up and diagonally to the left. And now you can see I have 4 bands on all of the pins, So I want the bottom 2 bands to come off. So I'm going to do that for all 6 pins. Do the same thing on the other side. And then push all of this down. Now again, I'm going to put another layer of brown on using the length of 3 pins, but this time I want to add my eyes. So I'm going to be using the black beads that I have already strung on the bands, but if you don't have black beads and you want to use the black rubber bands, what you'll need to do is take the black band, put it on your hook, and then you want to wrap it around about 4 or 5 more times. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do 4. You could do 5. And then take one of the brown bands, and you can use your loom. Just put it on one of the pins on your loom. And then if you take your hook and hold it on the one end, and then just slide those black bands onto the brown band. And then you can use that for your reindeer's eyes. So I'm going to be using the black beads, so I'm just going to string this next layer using the length of the 3 pins. So I'm going to take just a plain brown and go up diagonally to the right and then back down. And now I'm going to come back down from the top, and this time I want to place my bands that have the eyes on. So I'm just going to come back down in the zigzag pattern, and here's one of my eyes. Here's my second band with an eye on it. Now if you don't want to use either of these methods for the eyes, what you can do is do nothing, just use these brown bands as plain, and then at the very end I'll show you how you can add eyes once your reindeer is done. So now I want to take off the bottom layer once again, and this time I have 3 bands on the end pin, so I'm just going to take off the bottom one. I'm going to be removing 2 bands from the center pin, and then again just 1 band from the end. Flip to the other side. Again, I'm going to be removing just 1 from the end, 2 from the center, and again 1 from the end. And then push all of this down. And then I'm going to add another layer using the length of the 3 pins. And then just come back down. Again, remove the bottom layer. Again, I'm just going to take 1 from the end and 2 from the center and 1 from the end. Do the same on the other side. And push this down. And now I'm going to add 1 more layer. This is going to be the last one. And then come back down. And then once again, I'm going to remove the bottom layer. And again, I'm just taking 1 from the end and 2 from the center. And the same on the other side. And then push that down. So now what I want to do is I want to take the bottom band from the 4 end pins, and I want to move it in to the center. So I'm going to start at the bottom left, take the bottom band, and go up and diagonally to the right and put it on that top. Just set it right on the top. And then I'm going to take the top left side, take the bottom band, move it over to the diagonally to the right and put that on the top. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to take the bottom band from the top right pin and pull it down and diagonally to the left, and then I'm going to take the bottom band from the bottom right pin and move that up and diagonally to the left. So this is going to be forming the top of the reindeer's head. And now I'm going to remove the bottom 2 bands from the center pins, and then go to the other side. Again, remove the bottom 2 bands from just the center. This is the same method we would use to take a charm off of the loom, but I'm leaving these 4 bands on so I can add the antlers. So now you should have 2 bands on both center pins, and what I want to do is take the 2 bands in the front, get them on your hook, and put them on the pin above. Make sure they both make it on. I only got one on. I'll get the other one. There we go. They both are on now. And I want to remove the bottom 2 bands again. And that's going to be the top of the reindeer's head. And now what we're going to do is add the antlers. So for this, you are going to use, I have a tan color. You can use whatever color you have available. That will look like antlers. So to place the first band for your antler, you need to find the left-hand side where you currently have a brown band, and you're going to go 1 over to the left, and this is going to go up and diagonally, and you have to twist since there's nothing underneath. And then I'm going to go to the pin below and go up and diagonally to the left and twist, making an X. And then I'm going to do that again, the same exact thing. Go to the left and place 1 up and diagonally to the right, and then come back down and cross over it. This time there's no need to twist. And now what I'm going to do at this point is remove the brown band from the bottom. Just pull it over the top. It's just that one brown band. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side for the other antler. So where the brown band is on the right hand side here, we're going to put the other antler. We're going to go up and diagonally to the right, and we need to twist. And then we want to go to the pin below and come back down and twist again. We're going to make an X, and then I want to do that a second time. So start here and go up diagonally to the right, and then go to the pin below and cross it, come back down. You don't have to twist the second layer. And then again, I'm going to take the brown band off the bottom, and then I'm going to again do another layer of tan using these same 4 pins. So I'm going to jump back to this antler. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to cross it, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other antler. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to cross back down over it. And now I want to remove the bottom tan band, just one single band, from all of the pins. So I have 2 on the front side of this, and I'm going to move to the other antler, again just removing 1 band from the bottom. And then go to the other side. Again, I'm just going to remove the bottom 1 band from all 4 of the back side of the antlers. And then I'm going to push this all down. And now what I'm going to do is split the antlers. So for the next band, I'm going to start on the far left, but this time I'm just going to go to the pin above. I'm going to do that for all 4. So here I'm going to go up above. I'm going to go to the other antler and do the same thing. So in the end I'm going to have 4 bands that are just going up and down vertically. And now again I want to remove the bottom band from all of these pins. So I'm just going to take the bottom 1 band and go over the top. Just going to work my way up. Go to the other antler and do the same thing. Just the bottom 1. And go to the other side and just again removing the bottom 1. And come back down. And then push this down. I'm going to repeat that same pattern again. I'm going to just put the rubber bands to right behind where I'm putting it, up and down. And then the same thing on the other antler. And then again I want to remove just the bottom 1 band from all of these pins. And then do the same on the other side. And then push it down. And now our reindeer is finished, but what we need to do is secure all of the loose ends. So what you're going to do is take your hook. So we're going to start on the left hand side. There should be 2 bands on all the pins. So if you pick up the first 2 bands on your hook, hold them on and go to the one above and pick up the next 2 bands. So now you're going to have all 4 bands on your hook, and you're going to take another tan band, and you want to get this band to go through all 4 of the other bands. And then you're going to take that loose end and get it back on your hook, and then loop one end through the other and make a knot. And then you're going to have to pull that tight. And we're going to do this for all 4 of the antlers. So again, I'm going to go to the pin above here, get the 2 bands on my hook, and hold it on there. Go to the next pin above and pick up the other 2 bands. So now I have 4 bands on my hook. And I'm going to take another band and pull that through all 4 of these bands. And then I'm going to put my hook back through that loose end and pull the one end through the other and make a knot and then pull tightly. I'm going to go up to the next, do the same thing again, take the 2 bands from the bottom pin, keep them on the hook, then pick up the next 2 bands. Now I have all 4 on. And take another tan band on your hook and pull it through all 4 of those, and then put it back on, loop that end through the other and pull tightly. And then one more time, pick up the 2 bands at the bottom, leave them on your hook, and go pick up the next 2 bands as well. So you have 4 bands. Take another band and pull it through those 4 bands, and then put it back on. So you have the 2 ends, and loop one through the other and pull tightly. And then the last thing we have to do is take off the head. So this just has 2 bands on this pin. So I'll take a black band here. You can use a C-clip or an S-clip. I'm going to take a band. So I want to get those 2 bands on my hook. And I'm going to move this row of pins off so I can easily take my reindeer off. And then I'm going to take this band and loop it through these 2 brown bands, and then again put it on my hook and loop the one end through the other and pull tightly. And then here is the reindeer. And you can see his face is a little squished from being forced down in between those rows of pins, and his eyes aren't sticking out, so I want to find his eyes and pull them forward so we can see them better. And then you can see on the antlers there's these big loops at the end. So what you can do is, if you just take your hook and go down closer to the base of the antler and go through 1 or 2 loops, one or two bands, and then grab this loose end and just pull it down and thread it through, and that'll just hide that loose end. I'm going to do that for all of them. So I'm just going to find 1 or 2 bands near the base and then grab this loose end and pull it down through. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'm doing this from the back of the reindeer. Take a couple loose bands, take a couple of bands, grab that end and pull it down through. And then one more time, get your hook through a couple bands, and then grab that loose end and pull it down through. And then here is the reindeer. And then here is another reindeer that I made with a red nose for a Rudolph. And as I said before, I would show you another way that you could make eyes if you didn't have beads or you didn't want to use a black band. So if you left your reindeer plain, I'll just flip it over to show you on this side. If you left your reindeer plain and you didn't have any eyes, what you can do is take your hook and then see where you want one of your eyes to be and push through to the back. Take a black band and put it on the hook and then just pull that black through to the front. Do the same thing on the other side where you want the other eye to be. Push your hook through to the back, find the other side of the black band and pull that through as well. And then you can just pull the eyes out as far as you like, and then that would be what his eyes would look like.